Hello and welcome to the Crypto Otaku Show. I am Crypto Otaku, and this is my show. We're gonna dive into the market here in a minute. I'm still kind of feeling under the weather. It's gonna be a short one for me today. Bitcoin is still doing its thing, consolidating after the market data send it down to approximately 48,000 this afternoon, and then here we are, just kind of climbing back up. So. Yeah, I'll just dive right into it. Yep. So the market data came in. Look at that. God dang it! I'm not gonna be able to work no more. Can't keep my job. Yeah, McDonald's is hitting a plunge. But yeah, everything's kind of selling off. I mean, we are hitting record highs for the stock market. Record highs for the S&P 500. Not sure why that's coming in like that. There we go. So yeah, we're having a little bit of a sell-off now since we reached record highs yesterday. On this data, yeah, on the back of this data, I got some articles pulled up here as well. I lost my my point. There it is. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to go over this. Wall Street and sharply lower after inflation data. February 13th, 2024. It is now 8:05. Markets in China opened in about roughly an hour. Let's see what happened today. I've been asleep most of the day, homesick. Ain't making those gains today. Bitcoin's up though. The rest of the markets, I'm up. Anyway, Wall Street's main indexes ended sharply lower on Tuesday after hotter than expected inflation data squashed expectations that the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates. The expectations would not lower anytime soon. Yeah, we're looking at like June, July now instead of May. Is what they're calling for. Dow posted its biggest one-day percentage drop in 11 months, shredding nearly 1.4%, with the S&P 500 losing about the same. Yeah, I mean, all kind of labor is down. Obviously, I showed you McDonald's is going down. But you know what? No, it's not going down. Bitcoin. Because you know what? These institutions, these big players, they all know that Bitcoin is a flight to safety. It's a flight to what BlackRock calls equality, and that's the game they're playing. They know that this legacy system is dead. TradFi is screwed, screwed more or less. Ooh, what's going on my stream? No, I might be having a crash. It's been a long time since I had a crash. I might be having a crash. Oh, I think I'm good now. All right. Get some air flowing in here. All right, so yep, consumer markets are coming down, and crypto is having a bit of a rally. The altcoins as well coming back up. I noticed that even though Bitcoin's down today, some of my bags are pumped up a little bit, although it's not really reflecting that on the day or the hour. So I'm not sure what is holding my my portfolios up. Might be just like Link or I don't know. I have no clue. But yeah, all in all, it's kind of a mad day. I think the market's going to price in this new data. We have I mean, who out there is really thinking inflation's actually good, right? Like who in their right mind? Who in their right mind is thinking the inflation is actually getting better? I mean, Biden just did in the Super Bowl the whole shrinkflation bit. The whole shrinkflation bit is just absolutely bizarre. Like, how can you blame these corporations? Trust me, I do not. I do not believe in any big corporations at all. Well, not one bit. They are out to only do one thing, and that is to make you consume. Okay? You are a consumer, and you are nothing more. But yeah, that's where we're at. The markets are getting nasty. And you know what? We're gonna see a big of a rally. Even the S&P is gonna see a big rally at the end, towards the end of the year. Bitcoin is gonna keep steadily going up. And you know why? Because there's people out there that are starting to turn. They're starting to change their mindset. I want to show this today as well. This is Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff was on an interview with Anthony Pompliano after he had just came out yesterday in the news and said that Wall Street loves Bitcoin. He said that yesterday. We played it. We played it here. And then, yeah, I just wanted to kind of share a little bit of this interview as well, because I thought it was very interesting to see Peter Schiff and what he says. I mean, he's still, you'll see.
Can Bitcoin rally to 100 grand, or more? Sure, it can. But I don't even think it's worth betting on it, because it's not even that big a rise.
Do you think that that's going to happen? All right, guys, bang, bang. We've got Peter here. Peter, the U.S. economy, everyone says that things are going well. Soft landing is here. Jerome Powell, he's the superhero. I'm assuming you disagree. What is going on in the U.S. economy, and where are all the dead bodies buried at the moment?
Everybody is wrong. I mean, they're more wrong than they were in the summer of 2008, when everybody thought it was a Goldilocks economy. And we were in the worst recession since the Great Depression. Remember, that depression or that recession started in December of 2007. But the government didn't acknowledge its existence for a year. It wasn't until December of 2008 that the government said, you know what? We've actually been in a recession for an entire year. And in fact, it's the worst one since the Great Depression. So all the economic data that we've been spoon feeding the markets for the past year has been wrong. And everybody who thought we had a good economy based on that data was wrong. In fact, we were in a severe recession and we had a financial crisis. I think the economy is worse now than it was then. I think the recession that we're going to be living through, and it's probably already begun, is going to be far worse than the Great Recession. So it's going to be a greater recession. And what's going to compound the problem is going to be inflation, which is not dead and buried, as the markets believe. It's alive and well. And today's numbers from January CPI, support that view. Inflation is headed back up. In fact, if you annualize the core number that came out today, it's 5%.
Going up, etc. Does that concern you? Or do you think that makes sense?
I don't own these stocks. That's a very narrow group, the Magnificent Seven, although some of those stocks, seem to have broken down a bit. So maybe it's only 4 or 5 of them that are still magnificent. But people are going to get hurt, in these names. I mean, certainly they'll benefit from AI, but I think, a lot of that has been more than priced into these stocks, at least, the short-term benefits. And there's a lot of problems that are overhanging the economy and the markets. So a lot of people rushed into these stocks. If they want to get out, you don't have the buying there. Bitcoin, I think, is part of the move to speculate and gamble, which is obviously what's going on. But Bitcoin kind of had its own narrative with all those ETFs being launched. Now there's a dozen or so Bitcoin ETFs, and so there was a lot of hype there that led to that rally. Predictably, when the ETFs were launched, it was a sell the news event, and they all dropped about 20 some odd percent very quickly. They've recovered and made new highs, I think, on the back of some renewed speculation. I think this ETF conference down in Miami that's going on right now, there's probably a lot of hyping. And from my experience observing Bitcoin over the last several years, there are constant, times where there's hype, where there's an opportunity for people to pump it up. And then everybody kind of rushes in, they buy in, they want to capitalize on that. They expect there to be some follow through. And so, I think that this, now that, when this conference ends, which is Valentine's Day, or, maybe the hype will end before, but I would expect the market to sell off. Bitcoin got above 50,000 already. I wouldn't expect, much more upside. I think it has a lot of resistance up in this area.
Why?
And,
Hold on, let's
now
talk
that these
about that.
ETFs are there. I just don't see where the next catalyst. For
I
the
think
rise.
he's secretly
Unless
holding and chill and just
the
trying
ETFs
to
ignite
hold it back.
a whole new group of buyers. I just don't think they're going to bite.
All right, I'll take the bait. Ready? I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen over the coming months. You tell me what you agree with and what you disagree with. Bitcoin, which really the long-term trend is just the more they print money, the more that hard assets or kind of finite supply assets are going to benefit. So gold, I think will continue to do decently well, although the returns are small compared to Bitcoin. But Bitcoin and gold will both benefit from the undisciplined monetary policy. But now that we have the ETFs, there is $500 million a day of net inflows into these vehicles. We're a month out, right? So they got approved a month ago. It's not like it got approved yesterday. We're still getting $500 million a day. There's only 900 Bitcoin a day being produced by the network. So 12.5x more demand than what the network is creating on a daily basis. And then we are heading into, we're about 70 days away or so from the Bitcoin halving. So that 900 Bitcoin is going to get cut to 450 Bitcoin. And so if you have only $20 million or $25 million of Bitcoin getting created every day, but you have $500 million trying to find Bitcoin, the price has got to go up to accommodate everyone, right?
Well, you're assuming that the only supply is the new Bitcoin that's being mined. I mean, how many Bitcoin is already in circulation right now?
Good question.
So
right now, there's, hold on a second. Right now, there's just over 90% of Bitcoin that's in circulation, but of all 21 million Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, of all the Bitcoin that's in circulation, 80%, it's like 79.5% of that has not moved in the last 6 months. So that is an inelastic supply. People are holding it. They're not willing to sell it. And so really you only have...
And no one knows how much is lost, stolen over the years. 5, 6, 7 million Bitcoins completely gone, locked off, lost in landfills and old flash drives.
20% or so that is tradable. So at a $1 trillion asset, you got about $200 billion. But the way I think about it is the Bitcoin ETFs, if they've sucked up $10 billion already in 30 days.
Yes, we're going to go to the moon, Mondo, and then we're going to go even further. We're going to go to Mars, we're going to go to Jupiter, we're going to go to Pluto, all the way out to Pluto. We're going to prove that damn thing's a planet once and for all. Once and for all.
It's 5%.
Does that include whatever left Grayscale?
That's all net inflows, correct. If you include Grayscale's got another 20 billion. So now you got $30 billion in these ETFs, including Grayscale, 10 billion without Grayscale. And there's only 200 billion that is actually tradable. Like, this thing is highly illiquid, and you have all of this inflow coming and the halving's on the horizon. I might convince you today to buy Bitcoin.
Today's episode is brought to you by Base.
The next 6 months. And also, you assume that all the people that bought into these Bitcoin ETFs are going to hold long. You have no idea what their time horizon is. They may have bought for a trade. They may sell. You know, just because somebody owns the ETF doesn't mean they're holding for the rest of their lives. These could be a different type of investor who has come in, and you don't know how quickly they may take the other side of this trade. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that there is potential if enough in people, you know, FOMO into this thing, just out of greed. I mean, look, people do a lot of dumb things, you know.
Not just out of greed, just out of safety. This is the only thing that's finite on the planet. The only thing that we can guarantee is going to be exchangeable with every other currency. The dollar collapse we just talked about yesterday, how nickel is worth less than the actual nickel is worth more in its actual traded value as a precious metal. I mean, what are we doing? Like, we're running into third world country problems already. It's just ridiculous.
And Wall Street certainly will encourage it if they think they can make money. So you've got all these firms now that own these Bitcoin ETFs. It's like if I owned a casino, I'm going to try to get people to come gamble at my casino, even if I know that it's bad for them, right? I mean, they're going to lose. I'm operating the casino. I'm going to win. And so the ETF owners, right? These big firms, yeah, they want to hype up their new casinos that they just spent a lot of money building, and they want to get people in. And yeah, I mean, so are people dumb enough to buy these ETFs? Sure. You know, I mean, and just having money doesn't mean you're automatically smart. There's some dumb people that have money, but in the end, the dumb people are going to be separated from their money. And so, but can Bitcoin rally to 100 grand, you know, or more? Sure, it can, but I don't even think it's worth betting on.
He can't even deny it. And I know he was a speculator in the past. He held Bitcoin in the past. His son was big into Bitcoin, but he's a boomer. He's a big old gold buff. And even if he still holds Bitcoin, which I'm sure he still does, no one's coming out and saying that they are. This is not an open conversation yet. It's still pretty early. People, at least the ETFs are out there. Wall Street has the ability to at least come out and say, yes, we are buying this asset. Yes, we are holding this asset. But it's going to take a long time for everyone to come out and fully embrace Bitcoin, because this is just how this legacy market has been. And you don't want to look like you're anti-America by holding a non-sovereign asset. And that's what this mostly is. I mean, you don't want to be targeted by Congress, who's passing all these bills, who's making your company succeed, by, you know, offering your customers another way to pay. So yeah, this is going to be interesting how this goes, and we're only at the very beginning, yet alone the very start of this madness. It's crazy world we're about to create for ourselves. And yeah, I've seen all these people talking about how Bitcoin right here, 48, we're kind of stuck here in this spot. Saying that we've never gotten past that before halving. I'm like, wait a minute. We have. We've gotten past there before. We've actually approached the previous all-time highs on the approach to a halving. So I mean, I don't see why not we can't hit the all-time high again. Right on the approach to the halving. It's coming. It's coming. And I want to roll this into Bitcoin Hodler. Shout out to Bitcoin Hodler. If you like his content, please like and subscribe
yesterday
to him
alone,
as well.
The ETFs sucked up.
I wanted to share
Market
this.
seems to be loading 120 to 150 million dollars a day average worth of net inflows for Bitcoin just through the ETF. So what does that mean? That means that based on this multiple, if it holds, you're looking at $100 million a day, adding $10 billion a day worth of market cap average. That translates to about a $500 a day appreciation for Bitcoin average over a period of time, which translates to about a $30,000 gain between today and the halving, which would put us at all-time highs. The bull.
Exactly, and I'm really happy he put this out there, because this is what I've been thinking too, that there's no reason why we can't, especially since this is different. This time really is different. I know it's the worst thing to say in any kind of market cycle, but this time it's different, because this time we have the institutions. We never had the institutions ever before. So you don't think we can hit all-time highs right before halving on the backs of the institutions? The ETFs are just going to keep gobbling up all this Bitcoin, and they're holding it forever. They can't get rid of it, because you cannot take your Bitcoin back off the exchanges. You can only exchange it back in the US dollar. So their accumulations are never going to stop. It's never going to go down. Once these outflows from Grayscale happen, because Grayscale is true one-to-one Bitcoin. So once those outflows start, drying up, which they already seem to have already done, we're already in, free flight. We're going to be going to the moon. We're going to be going to Jupiter. We're going to be going to Mars. We're going to be going to other planetary orbits. So I mean, this is going to be insane. When we at the end of the year, and we're up like $200,000 or some crazy number at the end of 2025, end of the cycle. I mean, we might hit 100K right at the halving. Anything's possible, especially with what the British Holler's saying with this $500 increase in price on average. Because say right now the average fair price for Bitcoin is 45,000, 47,000, which I think is actually kind of low. But just to say, just to kind of low on the low spectrum, every single day accumulating 500. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. So see right now, fair price for Bitcoin is 46,000, and you're adding 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8, 9, 10. I mean, just in 10 days, we've already appreciated what, $6,000? That's ridiculous. $5,000. I mean, say on average we're up $5,000 every 2 weeks even. That's even conservative from what he's saying. Absolutely insane. And we have how many days until the halving? How many days? I'll tell you. Oh my God. I will tell you. Boom, 66 days, 2 hours, and 34 minutes until 420. Blaze it! The Bitcoin halving. So, that's a lot of time, a lot of money. A lot of time, a lot of money accumulating into Bitcoin. Getting out of the legacy market. Getting out of the inflation, inflationary, the inflation that is the dollar. Preserving your purchasing power. This is what you need to be paying attention to. These are the beginning days. The beginning days of a shift of control, empire falling. I mean, this is coming. It's here. So with that taken into account, let's just say 64 days. 64 days divided into 7. So we got about approximately 9-10 weeks to the halving. Let's just say 9 weeks. 9 times 5,000. No, it'd be 2 weeks. Let's just say it's cut in half. 5 weeks. All right. I mean, I'm sorry. Five 2-week periods times $5,000. We're looking at $25,000 appreciated on top of our current price right now. So we are looking at a $75,000 Bitcoin, which is again higher than the previous all-time high. So, is it possible? I think it is. These ETFs are not stopping. They're still doing an average of 2,000 Bitcoin a day. 2,000. I don't care about price, current market price. A dollar is inflationary as hell, so I don't even think in terms of dollars anymore. Only in terms of how much sats you hold. And if you're working at McDonald's, shout out McDonald's. Big Mac right now in some states are $18 per meal. That's right. You did not mishear me. In some states, the Bitcoin the Big Mac, you might as well sell Bitcoin to buy a Big Mac at some point. A Big Mac sandwich is selling for around $6-7 on average on a meal. In some states, around $18. It's insane. This is where we are. I mean, you can't afford to live working at McDonald's, and you can't afford to eat at McDonald's. Then where's McDonald's place in the world? Where is all these legacy Fortune 500 companies? Where's their place in the world? We already seen Radio Shack die years ago. JCPenney's is on their way out. Sears is gone. Office Max, Office Depot. I mean, all these companies, all these shopping centers, all these shopping malls. It's coming down. Commercial markets are failing. Commercial real estate is dead. Yeah, it is the dystopian future. Dystopian future that I welcome. I embrace it because it's the only future we have. It's Blade Runner. It's Mad Max. It's you better load up on guns. No, not financial advice, but for your own protection. Anyway, that might be all I got for this evening. I've been under the weather. They sent me home at McDonald's today. They said, nope, you can't work today. Nope. So they didn't want me poisoning their food. So. All right, I'm out. You guys have a good night, and keep it real. Don't let your dreams be dreams, and buy Bitcoin. Otaku out. Later.